No one can save you. No one can save you. The chaos awaits you. Can't see tomorrow because I might die today, but I sing the sorrow. Smile. Thanks. Had to quote some Hollywood undead there heading into this video because there's gonna be chaos. Embrace the chaos as we have 3 games remaining in the Major League Baseball season, and we have far less from decided. You take a look at that American League playoff picture. Every single seeding can change from here in these last 3 games. All 6 spots can change still. There is this team is locked into this seed in the American League right now. The Mariners can steal the top seed. The Yankees can steal the top seed. The Blue Jays can drop to 2. Cleveland and Detroit are tied. The wild card can all mix. Detroit can jump, fall. Boston can jump, fall. Houston can jump, fall. And then the National League wild card is a jumbled mess as well. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to be talking about the AL East race, the AL Central race, the AL wild card race, and the National League wild card race. Tim, we have 3 games left in the regular season.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be something.
Well, seeing that it is Friday, we will start in the American League East. Now, we are recording this at 4:15 on Friday afternoon/evening. So keep that in mind. If you guys are watching later into the night, some of the games are the American League East. This is a fun one here. The Toronto Blue Jays and the New York Yankees tied 91 and 68 this season, a .572 win percentage. The Yankees 5 in a row. They've won heading into tonight. The Blue Jays have won one. They won their last game, which snapped a losing streak for them. They do not play each other. The Yankees are hosting the Baltimore Orioles, who are 75 and 84, have nothing to play for other than playing spoiler. The Blue Jays are in the same situation. They're at home. They get to play the Tampa Bay Rays, who have nothing to play for other than playing spoiler. The Toronto Blue Jays do hold the tiebreaker for the division as they won the head-to-head matchup. They won the head-to-head series against the New York Yankees. Do you think the Yankees can jump the Blue Jays by doing? They have to do one game better than the Blue Jays. What do you think?
No. And that's just me saying I think the Orioles win tonight.
Ooh.
I mean, Trevor Rogers is pitching tonight. Has there been a better pitcher since Trevor Rogers come back from injury than Trevor Rogers?
True.
The answer is no. He's gone like 100 innings of a 1.36 ERA. He's been insane. He's been the only good thing that the Orioles have coming for him, coming for the year. Like the only good thing to watch. And when it comes to it, no, I think the Yankees lose Friday, and that would mean the only way that the Yankees win the division is if Toronto loses the series to Tampa. I don't see that happening, but at the same time, they're in exactly the same matchup right now because you've got the top teams, they're tied, and they're going up against spoiler teams.
Yeah.
And divisional spoiler teams.
That's going to be a theme with this with this video is divisional spoiler teams, because we'll talk about that in the wild card in the National League. We'll talk about that in this American League. We'll talk about that. We won't be in the AL Central. But let's quickly, before we move into the AL Central, let's take a look at the matchups here for this weekend. We'll start with the Blue Jays trying to hold off the Yankees for that top spot, or for that division. The first matchup tonight is on Apple TV. Woohoo.
Gross.
Shane Bieber and Adrian Hauser is your matchup there. Shane Bieber's been decent since come back from injury. On Saturday is going to be Joe Boyle taking on Trey Savage. same matchup we saw just 10 days ago or something
Yep.
along those lines for the Savage's debut. And then on Sunday, the final game of the season, it is lined up to be Ian Seymour versus TBD. And it's pretty simple why TBD still is.
It could be clinched by them.
You don't want to use your top starters.
Yeah.
You don't want to use Gausman unless you absolutely have to.
Correct.
And the Yankees don't have that issue. The Yankees are guaranteed a playoff spot. It's just whether or not it's going to be in the divisional series or in the wild card series. Both these teams do. I think it's more important for the Blue Jays to win the division than I think it is the Yankees to win the division. The Yankees be taking on the Orioles. As you mentioned, they get Tyler Rogers. Not Tyler Rogers. Trevor Rogers. 9-2, 1.35 ERA against Will Warren. And then on Saturday, it's Cam Schlittler versus Tomoyuki Sagano. And then to wrap up the season, they will see Kyle Bradish versus Luis Heel. So in a kind of a must-win series, you won't see Rodon, you won't see Fried.
Which is because they have them set up for
wild card.
Although if they're going for the division, then they wouldn't need them. But I mean, fair enough. So that's the matchup we're going to see. I do think the Blue Jays hold on. That is kind of where I'm leaning towards. I've been a big Blue Jays guy this year. I do believe the Blue Jays hold on and win the division. And I think they at least take 2 out of 3 against the Rays. I think this is a very winnable series for the Blue Jays to hold on and win the division. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Orioles play a little bit of spoiler this week. I do think that, and the thing is with the Yankees is it's division or first wild card. There's nothing else they could do. At the end of the day, they're set up for the wild card. I think they're going to get the wild card, and I think it's going to be a wild card against Boston. So we'll see how that one goes.
Yeah, which we will talk about the wild card series. But next, we'll head to the AL Central. I did a video on this a couple days ago. Guards ball, rocking my guards ball hat here. 86 and 73 are the Guardians. They're tied with the Tigers. The Tigers salvaged the series against the Guardians with a win yesterday, which tied them back up. The Guardians are 8-2 in their last 10. The Tigers are 2-8 in their last 10. The Guardians won the head-to-head series. They have the tiebreaker for the division. Quick thoughts on my bad. Let me give you who these teams are playing this weekend, and then we'll go from there. The Guardians host the Texas Rangers.
Yep.
The Tigers head to Fenway.
Yeah.
Right off the rip, without even looking at pitching matchups, this is definitely a tougher task for the Detroit Tigers than it is the Cleveland Guardians.
Oh, 100%. You've got a team in the Texas Rangers that are out of it that could play spoiler, but why bother?
Why bother? Also, there's one thing that could matter that we can talk about when it comes to the AL wildcard race. Texas Rangers lose, Guardians win. Bye-bye Astros.
Good point.
So do the Rangers want to win? Do they want to see their rival in? We'll see. Maybe that has some motivation to it there. Let's take a look at the Guardians because they're trying to hold off the Tigers because they do have the tiebreaker, but they are tied. It'll be Slade Cocconi versus Jack Leiter for Friday. On Saturday, it is TBD versus TBD, and on Sunday, I believe it's also TBD versus TBD.
Ooh,
so we don't have pitching matchup. I'm trying to take a look back on who they started. Messick pitched the last game against the Tigers.
That's not a game one guy.
No.
I think your game one guy is Gavin.
I think it is as well. Bybee pitched the game before. I have a feeling it's TBD because it sets up if you absolutely need to. Because
you throw Gavin in game 162.
Gavin would go on game 162 if you absolutely need to throw somebody. If it's life or death on Sunday. And then you go to somebody. Who was it that pitched that game? I just want to see real quick who pitched the game before for the Guardians, and that would be Joey Cantillo. I think at that point you can pitch either Gavin or you might go Parker Messick in that last game.
You could
as well. So just something to keep in mind is we don't have announced pitchers for the Guardians this weekend or Saturday, Sunday, because they're playing it by what do we do tonight type of thing, which is totally fair to do.
Which is what you're supposed to do at this point of the year.
Yep. And then on the Tigers side of it, Casey Mize will be taking on Kyle Harrison.
Yep.
And then on Saturday, it is TBD versus Connolly Early. And I believe Sunday is Scooble versus TBD. You can easily pull. Now, it's pretty simple. Because then you and the Astros, you hope the Astros win the first two games.
Because then it forces Scooble to pitch game 162, and all of a sudden
he's not available in the wildcard series. Have a nice season. The Tigers are done. Although
the Guardians have really good numbers against Scooble. Guardians can beat Scooble. They beat them in the last series. Gavin beat Scooble.
Oh yeah,
and how about the playoffs?
He also has a complete game shutout against them this year.
How about the playoffs last year?
Yeah,
they were able to beat Scooble.
They saw him 2 times in a 5-game span. Yeah, it happens. I think the Guardians hold on here. I think the Blue Jays hold on. I think the Guardians hold on. I think those are your two. And I think the winners of the divisions for the American League will be Toronto, it'll be Cleveland, and it'll be Seattle, who had those teams heading into the season. Put your hands down. Actually, I have to go back and look at my preseason predictions.
I would understand Seattle.
I think I had Cleveland. I had Cleveland.
You had Cleveland, Jesus.
So
I did not have Cleveland.
I did. I liked guard ball heading into the year. They disappointed me for a while, but they've been a nice little run as of late. All right, let's talk about some true chaos here, because we have locked into the top wild card spot. It's either Toronto or New York. We know that for sure. Other than that, who the hell knows?
Correct.
And this has a very similar feel to, last year. We have Boston taking on Detroit and Houston on the outside looking in, hoping one of the teams sweep. Where did we see that before? Oh, yeah. The Diamondbacks last year were the Astros this year, and the Red Sox and Tigers were the Mets and the Braves. They played on the last series of the year. The Red Sox currently are a game up on the Detroit Tigers. There's 87 and 72. The Tigers are 86 and 73. The Astros are 85 and 74. The Astros hold no tiebreakers over anybody.
Nope.
I believe the Tigers hold the tiebreaker over the Red Sox, because if they win tonight, they will jump the Red Sox and get into the
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yep.
And there we go. And then when it comes to the Astros, they lost the season series to the Red Sox as well, I believe. So this one comes down pretty simple. Now, we've already gone over the Red Sox for this weekend. We've already gone over the Tigers for this weekend. The Astros
need a miracle.
They do. They need a lot of help.
Yes, they do.
They also, though, get the LA Angels.
What's your point? I think the Angels win tonight.
It is Tyler Alexander taking on Kyle Hendricks and potentially his last career start. Hell of a career there by the professor. For Saturday, it's TBD versus Caden Dana, a top prospect who
has not looked good this year.
Has been a busted top prospect really for the Angels because they don't know how to develop. And then the final one of the year is old friends Spencer Aldegari, I believe. Or no, this is not Spencer Aldegari, is it? Sam Aldegari, my bad. Italian-born pitcher. Don't see many of those in the major leagues versus TBD. So here's the pretty simple way you have to, in order to get into the playoffs for the Astros, they need a sweep, and they need one of Detroit or Boston to get swept. Pretty simple there. because if you go 2-1, even if they go 2-1, that's not good enough unless Detroit completely gets swept.
They need
to be 2 games better than Detroit or 3 games better than Boston.
Yeah, they're not catching Boston.
They can catch Boston. If Detroit sweeps and they sweep, they can catch Boston. Like I said, it's a very, very low chance, and I'll toss this over to you. Your thoughts on who will finish where? I want to get up the Fangraphs playoff odds for the Houston Astros real quick.
Honestly, at the end of the day, I think wildcard goes Yankees, Red Sox, Tigers. I think probably Red Sox take. I'm gonna say the Tigers win 2. No, I'm gonna have to say the Red Sox win 2 out of 3, and then I'm still not I think the Astros could lose the series to the Angels. Very realistically, because you've seen an Astros team that's just tail dive.
Yes, they have.
And have worked themselves completely out of it. Or, yeah, they've worked themselves out of it, but also Cleveland worked themselves in it. So, and I remember mentioning, because I mentioned a couple weeks ago saying, I think the Astros are going to not make the playoffs. Granted, when I was saying that, it was right before the Texas Rangers series, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm thinking the Texas Rangers are going to go in there and win the series, if not sweep, and then go from there. And all of a sudden, they went the opposite directions.
Yeah. And
then Houston went and completely fell apart. And the Guardians have been hot. But I think Houston misses the playoffs altogether.
All right. So we have 4 teams that are going to have the 4 teams that are fighting for 3 spots. What are the odds you think for the Red Sox to make it, according to Fangraphs, percentage-wise? According the Guardians to make it, the Tigers to make it, and the Astros to make it.
Out of the 4 of them, I'm gonna say the Guardians have the best odds.
No, the Red Sox do.
Red Sox have the best odds.
Because they're a game up on the Tigers and the Guardians.
Oh, they are. That's right.
They are.
I was thinking more divisional. Okay. Red Sox probably 80%.
98.8% for the Red Sox.
Fair, because they would need to get swept.
They would need to get swept.
That's fair. That's fair. So then it would be 98% for them. Guardians have the better odds over the Tigers, though.
Yes, they do.
Guardians, I'm going to say, are 80%.
88.6.
And then the Tigers are probably around the 80% mark, too.
84.5.
And then you're 5% for Astros, maybe.
28.2.
Interesting.
Because they can go 2-1 if there's a sweep.
Yeah, I'm still thinking that Houston loses tonight, so
that's fair. And obviously these odds will change.
Yeah.
I think that at the end of the day, the division winners will be Toronto, Cleveland, Seattle. Seattle's already locked into that division.
Mm-hmm.
I think the wild card teams will be Boston hosting. You know what? I'm going to go on a limb here. I think Boston is going to host Houston. I think that Boston's going to.
No, Boston wouldn't host Houston.
Yes, they will.
No, the Yankees have the top wild card.
Oh, but yeah, no. Then the Mariners will be hosting Houston, and the Red Sox would be going to Yankee Stadium. I think we see the Astros go and they take care of business against the Angels, and then we see what happens in Boston, which I'm not a believer in this Tigers team at all right now. This is more me selling on the Tigers than it is buying the Astros. But I do think the Astros can take care of business against the Angels. All right, here we go. The National League wild card. We have 3 teams that are currently in the talks for it. The Mets currently 82-77. The up 1 game on the Reds, who are 81-78, and 2 games on the Diamondbacks, who are 80-79. The Mets are getting the Miami Marlins for the final 3 games. The only confirmed starter we have for the New York Mets this weekend is Brennan Sproat tonight. Sandy Alcantara is going opposite of him. Yuri Perez on Saturday, Edward Cabrera on Sunday. They pushed out Sandy Alcantara back a day so he can pitch in this series, and they brought Edward Cabrera back, who was injured before this. So we see that the Marlins are caring about this, and it's their World Series to knock out the Mets. We don't have any pitchers the rest of the weekend, though. It'll probably be some type of combination of David Peterson on Sunday, and could be a Kodai Senga on Saturday. Could be a Sean Manaea on
I was going to
Saturday.
say, I'm thinking Manaea Holmes. Or Holmes Manaea. It should be Holmes Manaea.
Yeah.
So it's Sprout. My guess would be Sprout Friday, obviously, because that's tonight. We already know it's Sprout. I'm going to guess Holmes Manaea, and then Peterson on Sunday.
That does not make me feel good.
It does not. But hopefully the Sunday game doesn't matter.
That'd be nice too.
Because we'll talk about what the Reds are going to go up against tonight, and a big trend that's in their direction, in the Brewers' direction. But
yeah, let's talk about the Cincinnati Reds. Here's the thing with the Reds, though. They just need to be one game better than the Mets.
Correct.
Because they have the tiebreaker over the Mets.
They have tiebreaker over both.
I think if it's a three-way...
Oh, no, Arizona has the tiebreaker over Cincinnati. No.
I believe Arizona has the tiebreaker over Cincinnati, if I remember right, because they tied, but Arizona has the better divisional record. And if it's a three-way tie, Arizona gets it. So the Reds, they will get the Brewers this weekend, a team that they have really struggled with as well. So both the Reds and the Mets are on the road against teams that they have struggled against on the road before. So that should make for a very interesting weekend. They will get Quinn Priester tonight against Zach Littell at 8:10. And then on Saturday, they will have Andrew Abbott versus TBD. And then on Sunday, they will have Brady Singer versus TBD. Don't be surprised if the Brewers actually throw legitimate pitching out there. Because
they would get the bye anyway.
Because they would be that basically setting them up to pitch on normal rest at the ALDS or the NLDS.
That, or I wouldn't be surprised if they brought up their AAA guys to pitch the last two games. And the only reason why is why threaten to possibly injure one of your starters that's supposed to start game one or game two in a meaningless game.
See, if you pitch on Sunday, that lines you up for normal rest for game one. That's
not the point. My point is, why pitch? Say
so they don't go 10 days without pitching.
Say Freddie Peralta.
Freddie Peralta is going to. I think
Freddie Peralta is your game one if you're the Brewers.
Yes.
Okay. Why start him on Sunday? What happens if he starts on Sunday, middle of the third inning, he all of a sudden feels something in his shoulder? Like, are you really going
5 days to get him ready? You limit his pitch count.
Okay, if anything, he goes 3 innings.
3-4 innings, yeah. And then you can still.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Here's the thing, though. You can still have your throw days with your top bullpen arms.
You could,
because you get plenty of rest heading into the DF.
Yeah.
I think when we see this series this weekend between the Brewers and the Reds, it's going to be Quinn Priester tonight, Jacob Mizorowski tomorrow, and Freddie Peralta on Sunday. I think that is the way it's going to go. Now, are they going to go 6 innings each? Hell no.
No,
absolutely
they'll go
not.
60, 70 pitches max.
Yeah, no, they'll limit them, but they will still throw them, and you will still see Abner Uribe. You will still see some of their top bullpen arms this weekend.
I hope they go all out.
Yeah, because not only are you trying to knock a division rival out of the playoffs, but you still want to be ready to go for the playoffs, and you don't want to just start slacking off at the end. So I do think we see that type of rotation, and I think I can see the Cincinnati Reds struggling a little bit this weekend. And then it's not very likely, but let's just talk about them real quick.
Before we jump into the Diamondbacks, my interesting thing with the game tonight between the Reds and the Brewers, Quinn Priester. Is some type of cheat code, and I know saying this, they're going to end up losing tonight. But
absolutely.
The last time that the Brewers lost with Priester starting was May 24th. He's won 19 straight games, or the Brewers have won 19 straight of his starts.
That's incredible.
Incredible.
and they traded him for a DSL prospect, and I forgot what it was. I think like a AA prospect.
Yeah, nothing.
Because not even the Red Sox were like, yeah, we can't fix Quinn Priester.
And the Brewers go, hey, instead of doing this, go do this, and you
throw your cutter more.
Yeah,
it was basically that. Yeah. Get rid of your slider, throw your cutter more, and get rid of your 2-seam, throw more 4-seams. Like that was kind of like the gist of what they told Quinn Priester. Yeah, and then he's been great.
Anyways,
the Arizona Diamondbacks. They get the San Diego Padres. Mike Schultz, the manager of the Padres, already says their pitchers are in bubble wrap for this series this weekend, so don't expect much from their starters.
Honestly, and if I'm the Padres, that might be the spot where you're calling up guys from AAA to make starts.
Yeah, like a Kyle Hurd or something like that.
Like that's a spot that you call up guys that are just going to get chunk innings, and then you're going to send them back down.
Yeah, and it's interesting because that's not really the case that we're seeing right now because they actually have at least two pitchers listed from what I've seen. Zach Gallen versus Yu Darvish tonight.
That's fine. Yu Darvish isn't starting. It shouldn't start anything in the playoffs anyway.
Then we have Eduardo Rodriguez versus Michael King.
That one surprises me. I would want Michael King as my number 2 starter.
Yeah, and then
behind Nick Pivetta.
And then we have Brendan Fad versus TBD. So we don't know.
That one should be a AAA arm.
That wouldn't surprise me at all. But I don't think the Padres are going to go full all out. And by the way, everybody plays at 3:00 on Sunday.
Yep.
So that's interesting as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see Arizona getting in.
They take nothing short of a miracle. Not that, but
they need to sweep the Padres.
Mm-hmm.
They need the Brewers to take 2 out of 3 against the Reds, and they need the Marlins to take 2 out of 3 against the Mets in order for that to happen. All right, let's play the same game that we played with the American League side. I've got Fangraphs up now. The Mets, the Reds, the D-backs, because Phillies, Cubs, Brewers, Dodgers, Padres are all 100%.
And we know what position they're going to be in besides the Padres, Cubs, but Padres... Cubs, actually, no, Cubs are up 11-1. They're about to win. They're going to clinch that top wild card spot.
The Padres have nothing to play against.
And then the only other positioning that can move, technically, is the 1-2 seeds. Mm-hmm. But the Brewers can clinch the 1 seed with a win or a Philly loss.
Yep. All right. We'll start with lowest to highest. The Arizona Diamondbacks.
5%.
1.8%.
I was being generous.
Yep. The Reds.
25.
19.7.
All right. So then they're giving the Mets an 80%.
78.5% chance to make the playoffs. I think it's the Mets at the end of the day. The Reds do make me nervous. But with that being said, I do trust the Brewers to pitch their better guys to play this series correctly. The Marlins are going to go all out in this series. It's their World Series. We all know that. But I think at the end of the day, the Mets will have that last wild card spot.
I also think so. Right now, the Brewers are currently sitting at 96 wins. They win 1 more game, they set a franchise record.
Yeah.
So that's something they could play for. Is you're going to be the best Brewers team in your history.
Absolutely. So that is the chaos that'll unleash this starting tonight and into this weekend. 3 games left, and a couple tied races, 1 game spread. Like this is going to be exciting playoff baseball this weekend. Heading into playoff baseball this week. Heading into playoff baseball next weekend. So let us know down in the comment section below who's winning the American League East. Who is winning the American League Central? Who are going to be your American League wildcard teams? And who takes the last wildcard spot in the National League? But that's going to do it for this one. I want to thank you guys as always for watching. And we'll catch you guys next time on Baseball Talk with Your Brothers.